So if you're wondering where I've been getting my ass kicked by the illness. Now, I can't say the word of exactly what the illness is because the last video where I mentioned that got shadow banned like a mofo. So you know exactly what illness I'm talking about. Yesterday was probably the worst day I've ever had with it so far. Today, feeling a little better. I'm ready to rock and roll. But today we need to talk about something. Ethereum 2.0. I really feel, okay, with Ethereum 2.0, we're going to see a whole lot of hype around this, a whole lot of unnecessary hype. And I also think some people need to put their expectations in check just a little bit because this initial phase of Ethereum 2.0 is called phase 0. It's not exactly the most meaningful phase. Phases 1 and 2 are much more meaningful than what 0 is. 0 is just basically kickoff. The ball has not made it in the hands of any receivers. It's not in play necessarily yet. Also, I want to talk about the price of Bitcoin, what it's doing. I mean, 16,000 is right around the horizon. 20,000 is not looking unrealistic based off the volume you're seeing. Retail is really kicking in right now. Institutions have also increased their bags, but we also know that institutional buys of Bitcoin has done very little for the price of Bitcoin. But something I want to point out is we are in the middle of an election. And during this election, this is not like any other election we've ever had before. But something happened in one of the international markets that I feel everyone needs to pay attention to. Because if this happens again, I believe this could be the most bullish scenario for Bitcoin. And I do mean like bullish, like most insanely bullish scenario ever for Bitcoin. So we're going to talk about that today. So make sure you stay tuned until the very end of this video. Before we dive too deep into the sweet sexiness of Bitcoin and the price and what the price is doing right now, make sure you smash subscribe, hit that like button, the whole 9 yards, guys. Give us some support. You know how YouTube is and they hate content like this. Now, as I was saying, looking at a one-day chart for Bitcoin, this is, I honestly am in a little bit of disbelief of how well Bitcoin is performing right now, considering all of the other existing dynamics that were put out there by institutions to control the price of Bitcoin that they have heavily been utilizing. But I will take it. I'll absolutely take it. I hope you guys take it. There's a lot of good money to be made. And those of you that are holding bags from a long period of time are probably really happy right now as well, except for if you're this guy. And I don't mean me. I'm talking the guy, okay, who stole $1 billion worth of freaking Bitcoin from Silk Road. It was 69,370 Bitcoin. Now, during the time that Silk Road went down, that Bitcoin was worth roughly, I think, 14 million, somewhere around there. It was $200 a coin. Today it's worth over $1 billion. In 2013, this coin was allegedly hacked and stolen from the Silk Road founder, Ross Ulbricht. Now, I don't know how true all that is. Again, all we have is hearsay information. But what we do know is that person hacked and stole that Bitcoin, from Ross's, I guess, wallet and then held on to it. Didn't spend a single Satoshi out of that wallet. All of a sudden moved all that crypto and surrendered it. Can you imagine? I mean, someone give me the reasons. Give me what reasons you would have to surrender 69,370 Bitcoin to the feds. Because, I mean, they would literally have to hold you at gunpoint and get you to give up those keys or your passwords to your wallet. I don't know. What could be the reason why you would surrender that? And something that doesn't sit right with me about this whole story, a hacker would take and move $1 billion worth of that coin. But he wouldn't take it and immediately move it into some sort of a mixer like a Wasabi wallet or something like that. Take it, move it to Wasabi, from Wasabi someplace else, and mix that coin up to where you couldn't track it. Something about this story, to me, doesn't make any goddamn sense. I'm just telling you. It's just something about this is not sitting right with me. Voluntarily giving it up, a hacker who didn't spend a single Satoshi. Obviously, the guy's not an idiot and he really isn't greedy. But if he's a hacker, an actual hacker part of Silk Road and can steal from a guy like Ross, who was a genius, okay? Something just doesn't sit right with me, guys. I feel like this one is a bit full of shit. I feel like there's something missing here. And maybe the answer is they can actually take your coin from you. Maybe they can maybe they figured out a way to confiscate your coins, actually do that. And they do not want to publicly acknowledge that. They do not want to publicly say that. Maybe that would disrupt the entire Bitcoin market, right? And would hurt Wall Street institutions that are a part of it. I don't know. I'm speculating. Can't prove it, but it just doesn't sit right with me. I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below on that. Now, back to the price of Bitcoin. Okay, so yes, it's nearing 16K, and everybody thinks right now that Ethereum is going to shine in November. I actually do not doubt that. I don't doubt that. I do expect Ethereum to shine. I do expect Ethereum to start pumping simply because of an announcement that's been made. Right now, it's the volatility and the excitement and the FOMO and the potential and the opportunities. They're crazy. Everyone can make a little bit of money. Now, with this kind of volatility, I would need to plug something in really quick because you guys have been asking. The whole PrimeXBT co-vesting thing, basically, it's a leveraged platform, but this is a situation to where you are taking your funds and you're putting it into another trader's fund who's got more experience and time than yourself, okay? And over here, you can track their progress. You can track, how their success, total profits, daily profits, active days, followers, and how much liquidity they have in there and their rating. Now, I can't remember when I did this. It was days ago, maybe a little over a week. I put like 500 and some change in their total. This is where I'm at now. I never pulled out of this thing, even though when I saw that the price, I actually got crushed. I was getting crushed down to like $200, but I didn't pull it out just because looking at the history of the two that I have in there, they had bad days and they have good days. And what seems to be apparent is longevity has been beneficial to investing with these guys. So I just want to give you guys an update on that. The only reason I'm also sharing this is because of the fact that these are the times. These are about the only times that I feel that rolling the dice with a platform like this could be beneficial. Now remember, there's no middle ground with this. Either A, you're going to make money, or B, you're going to lose money. That's just bottom line. And me, I'm not a good trader. I don't have the time to be a good trader, so I trust someone else to do it for me. And if you have any interest in that, check out the link down below. But Ethereum 2.0 begins launch process as deposit contract goes live. So the first day of December is likely to be the launch date. Now we need to break this down for a second because I feel like we're going to have a lot of people get FOMO'd into this and not set the right expectations. It's very important to manage your expectations. So December 1st, if it launches December 1st, Ethereum 2.0 Phase 0 has now been formalized for launch around December 1st. Deposit contract is live and can collect necessary funds to trigger staking. So it's very important that you understand that with Phase 0, everything operates as normal, okay? It's still a proof of work platform. So it's not proof of stake at that point. Phases 1 and 2, which are years down the road, okay, is when the transition will come towards proof of stake. So right now, this is just a kickoff. It's simply a kickoff. This is not changing it from proof of work to proof of stake. It's still old-fashioned, but it's simply a kickoff. It's simply getting things started, simply getting the ball in play. And you also got to keep in mind, okay, when Medalla kicked off, Medalla has kicked off, but there has been issues with it. It has not been foolproof. A lot of people are talking about the fact there's a lack of incentive. Other people argue the other way. So it's still not there yet. I have a feeling, though, what you're going to see happen, because a lot of people have Ethereum. Lots of people hold Ethereum bags. You're going to see a lot of people create FOMO. A lot of people create unnecessary hype. I'm not saying Ethereum 2.0 is a bad thing. I'm just saying we are not yet at the point where Ethereum 2.0 has delivered. It is still a promise to deliver right now. So don't get sucked into that hype as somebody who is purchasing this believing that, hey, I'm going to put my money in this because it's about to go take off and proof of stake is coming and I'm going to be ready. I personally am going to look at this like this. I know FOMO is fixing to happen with it. I know people are going to pump the shit out of this price. I know that's coming. So I'm going to position myself to ride that pump. I'm going to find me a nice number that makes me happy, and I'm going to sell. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take advantage of this to make money because I'm telling you, presenting you the facts right now, okay? Ethereum 2.0 is not there yet. So you can either get hooked and bait and hooked by the FOMO creators, or you could be someone who's going to ride that wave and make you some money. Okay, so that's just two ways to play it. My input, not financial advice. But getting back to Bitcoin, I tell you what, Tether market cap surpasses $17 billion, fueling the Bitcoin price rally. Now, there's so many things that you can unpackage with this. We know that whenever COVID really kicked in, right, whenever that whole financial market crisis kicked in, that USDT started printing like crazy. We called it the USDT Bitcoin price printing machine, and it was going burr like crazy. There was a period in time where I was tweeting about it almost every single day, hundreds of millions of dollars of USDT just printed out of thin air. And all of a sudden, all that USDT was migrating over to Binance, and on Binance, all of a sudden the price of Bitcoin just kept going up and up and up. So, I mean, it is what it is, and we're seeing $17 billion for the first time in USDT, and we're seeing the price of Bitcoin on new levels. But here's the thing. I'm actually not saying that right now that USDT is solely responsible for that. There is another element that nobody is really talking to or paying attention to right now that I feel could either take Bitcoin to $20,000, $25,000, or $30,000, and I do mean that by the end of this year, and probably hold. There's a scenario, in my opinion, to where Bitcoin could crank up like crazy and hold for just a little while, okay? And there's another scenario where I feel like the price of Bitcoin can tank. On November 3rd, the Chinese RMB started to tank. The moment that they realized that Donald Trump was about to win this election, and it was really, really looking like he was winning this election, was the moment that we saw the Chinese RMB starting to tank hard and heavily. And the moment that that started to flip, the Chinese RMB is now hitting new highs with the prospect that Joe Biden might win this election. So if Trump wins, we're going to see the RMB go down. Biden wins, we obviously see what's going to happen with it. It's still up for debate. But what I find very unique was during the time that the Chinese RMB was going down, the price of Bitcoin was going up. And what's even more interesting was when you're scouring Twitter and looking through traders and what they were finding, it appeared that we had excessive buy pressure from their Asian communities. Excessive buy pressure from the Asian community. Is that coincidental? I don't think so. I do believe that if Trump wins, okay, that what's going to happen is the RMB is going to go back down. It's going to go back down hard because you know how he is just not a fan of the relationship and he has certain expectations and he wants to make them meet. It's going to be hard on their economy. They have a lot of wealthy people who are going to take that money and move it someplace else. I fully suspect it's going to be USDT because a lot of the money that was printed during the whole COVID crisis actually did come from China. I have a feeling it's going to be USDT and Bitcoin. I do suspect if Trump wins, the price of Bitcoin is going to go through the roof. I have a feeling it will hold for a while too because Bitcoin will be a nice, safe, cozy spot for these guys to put their money and hang out and figure out what's going to happen the next 4 years. If Biden wins, I do believe what's going to happen is we're going to ride out the rest of this year with this pump. People are going to make their money, and I have a feeling in the beginning of January or maybe even the end of December, the price of Bitcoin is going to tank again because there's going to be safety, there's going to be comfort. The Chinese are going to feel like, okay, we can go back to the RMB. We have nothing to worry about. Our business is going to continue as normal. And to be completely honest, that's me speculating. That's complete speculation. There's no tangible, solid, undisputed proof of that. That's me taking my experience in this field for many, many years. That's me taking what I'm seeing as far as the data goes based off of what happened November 3rd and what's actually happening today. Okay, that's me just evaluating what's available out there and coming up with this conclusion. I could be entirely wrong. I can. As of right now, though, if we're really going to be honest with ourselves, okay, if you're going to look past the hopefulness and the hopium and the prospect of trying to become millionaires off of Bitcoin, if we're just going to look at it for what it is right now, we don't really have outside of China a really good reason for Bitcoin to be pumping the way it has been pumping. Institutions have been buying like crazy as it is. Grayscale owns $7.6 billion worth of Bitcoin and buys every single week and has done so all year long without impacting the price. We have CoinShares, who owns 69,000 Bitcoin as well, did so, purchased it, and acquired it without impacting the price. We have MicroStrategy that owns somewhere around 38,000 Bitcoin, acquired this year, purchased it without disrupting the market as well. We have about 12 to $15 billion worth of Bitcoin that was bought up this year that did not impact the price at all. At all, guys. That is owned by institutions. So I don't believe that the run-up we're seeing right now has anything to do with institutional players. They're too smart for that. They got too much strategy for that. That being said, trade carefully, guys. Trade very, very carefully. This could be this could be a very, very huge lucrative moment for everybody. All right. So listen, that's all I have for today. I'm feeling better, so hopefully I can get another video out tomorrow as well. I got some interesting news I need to share with you guys regarding waves. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow. So anyhow, if I don't see you guys tomorrow, you guys enjoy your weekend. Peace out.